And so it's very important to connect with God and know that He's the one who's accomplishing it, that you are like a trustee or like an instrument, you are a steward here and you are representing God, and that God is actually the one getting it done. And so that's important, and also that you never feel that you're alone, that you know that the task itself is so important that God is willing to help you. And most importantly, in the practice that I am doing, we feel that we are companions of God, that God, He's looking at the world right now, and He really is, as much as I'm not able to take the sorrow in the world, that He is not able to take the sorrow in the world. That He's not, you know, He's not the one who gives us sorrow, but He's the one who removes the sorrow, and that He is not able to take whatever is going on right now. And so He needs people like me. He needs, you know, and that's my pure pride, that He needs people like me. He needs companions like me to get to transform the world, to actually bring about a new world. And so all of those things, it's very important to have that faith and trust in God. And then the last one, I feel, is an element is a communication and cooperation. Is that when you have this common vision and you are that it's very important that you communicate and you let people know what's going on with you and what's going on, so that they're bought into the idea, they keep buying into the idea, because that lack of communication really affects cooperation a lot.
Now, I'll take it from kindergarten to the executive boardroom to kind of do a cycle of life kind of thing, but in both cases, as you learn cooperation, there's an iterative process. You cooperate, you see the benefit of the cooperation, it's reinforced, you do it again. At the boardroom level, the act of achieving the goal is rewarded in all of the various ways that it's rewarded. Not always, though. Not always. Even just as you don't see the tangible benefit sometimes, you also don't see the reward sometimes. I guess how do you reinforce? How do you keep it going if it ultimately isn't rewarded?
You know, in the boardroom is a different scenario. You need to be rewarded. You get a paycheck, right?
Well, one hopes.
That's the reward in itself. I mean, how many people are going to go to work if they're not going to get paid for it? So that's the reward, I guess, you know, that you would need to keep. And also what I've noticed is in cases where it's just a monetary reward that you're getting, you tend to get into a very competitive, very, you know, destructive environment where there's a lot of backstabbing and all of that going on. And so it's very hard to keep going, actually, if you're not rewarded in an environment like that. But if it's more in an environment where it's your calling, it's not just you're going to go to work to get a paycheck, but this is your calling. You are going to do it whether you're going to get paid or not, you're going to do it. Then the reward in itself is knowing that you're coming closer to this vision that you have, that closer, you know, the calling could be, for me, it's a calling to serve God. And so it could be that the fact that I'm serving God, or the fact that even God's working through me, that He's serving other people through me, is reward in itself. No one else need give it to me.
And in the boardroom, that might be enough.
Let's say if I'm in the boardroom,
yes,
then that would be enough for me. That you know, God's serving through me, or I'm being a companion for God. That's a reward enough.
Well, I think about that because a lot of times, in fact, especially in an ego-driven environment, I may in fact try to take these lessons with me, not necessarily shared by some of the people who are around me. And I have to be able to reward myself if there's no monetary reward. In some cases, they won't even share the credit. We know this is the way it is in a lot of, not necessarily corporate boardrooms, certainly in just average workplaces.
Right.
So I guess I'm trying to figure out how you abide, how you get yourself up and motivated again when the act of cooperation might have gotten the job done, but didn't get you any credit.
I guess if you anticipate it, right, it's easier, I think. If you anticipate that's what's going to happen.
I won't get any credit. You start off with that.
No, it's not that you won't get any credit. You anticipate the possibility of not getting any credit, but also before you do the task, you tell yourself, why is it you're doing the task? You're not necessarily just doing the task for getting credit.
But so that's about, I mean, you mentioned vision before, and you particularly mentioned shared vision. And getting the task done might be the vision that we mutually share in any particular case, whether it's lifting a mountain, as the example is that you use from this, or getting a report written. Getting it done, we may know that that's what we've got to get done. Doesn't pretty much any work that you do, whether it's work for pay or work in life, begin with some kind of vision? And if it does, why do you place any emphasis on vision in the first place? It seems like that's a given.
No, if the vision is powerful enough, if you feel your vision is powerful enough, then you'll overlook all of these things. The other aspect of vision I was talking about is also it's to have a vision of yourself, is to have a really good vision of yourself. So in this particular case, where you're not getting any credit, the power to cooperate, one of the things that you would need to realize is that the mountain of sorrow that's there in the world is, I'm a contributor to it. Right now, I'm contributing if I'm experiencing sorrow. You know, when I use the word mountain, actually, I meant the mountain of sorrow. And so if there's a mountain of sorrow, I'm a contributor to the mountain of sorrow. And so if I'm a contributor to the mountain of sorrow, my vision for myself should be that how do I look without experiencing any sorrow? In a 24-hour period, what would it mean that I experience no sorrow? And I should experience no sorrow without actually input from anyone else. If people come and punch me out, I experience no sorrow. If people don't give me credit, I experience no sorrow. If people give me credit, I experience no sorrow. So in this 24-hour period, I have a vision of myself. And so that's why that vision is so important, not just about other people, but about yourself, because you need to keep going back to it. So anything that happens on the way that you keep saying, no, but this is my vision for myself, this is my vision for the world, this is my vision for the company. And so it like gives you an anchor so you don't get derailed or fall down because it didn't happen, something minor didn't happen.
We've got just a couple more minutes. When you talk about your vision for yourself, that doesn't just pop into being. How do you get there? How do you get to establishing what it is?
Meditation. No, really.
Answer a lot.
No, it's true, it's true. You know, people think meditation is sitting in a room and blanking yourself, but it's not. Meditation is about having the right attitude towards yourself, the right vision for yourself, and creating the right vision for yourself, the right thoughts for yourself, all of those things. And so the reason I'm giving that answer is only when I started meditating did I have this vision for myself as someone who can actually live 24 hours without experiencing sorrow, which is a very high vision actually, that I live a period of time and I keep focusing and I keep increasing that period of time where I don't experience any sorrow. And that vision actually came to me in meditation. And so that's why that it's an iterative process, but it starts there.
Would that be all of our goals, to get to a point where we experience no sorrow?
That's my hope. That's my goal for everyone. But that's the hope for the whole world, that we actually create a world where there is no sorrow. There's not just no sorrow for myself, but for the whole world, the natural world, animals, everyone.
Cooperation is supposed to get us there.
Yeah, actually, if we cooperate in the right way for that particular, if we have that vision, that the vision is that the world is no sorrow, then yes, cooperation will get us there.
Well, thank you so much, Shireen, and thank you.
Thank you, Keith.